Hello guys and welcome back to another video. In today's video my friends, we are going to be checking out the performance of Starfield on Radeon RX 6600 GPU. Alright, so first I'm going to be giving you guys the settings which we're using right now, and as you can see we're on 1080p resolution with borderless screen on. I cannot find any settings saying full screen in this game, and we're on dynamic resolution is on, which I'm going to turn off just right here. And as you can see we are on ultra settings, which everything is enabled. I'm just going to disable motion blur and I'm going to disable depth of field. Alright, and film grain is also turned off. As you can see everything is on the max settings with 1080p resolution, and let's head right into it. Also about the system specs guys, I'm using the Ryzen 5 3600 processor that is just on stock clocks with 16GB of DDR4 memory that is locked at 3200 MHz XMP, and this game is installed on an SSHD. Alright, and let's head right into it. Let's start counting the FPS, which I'm getting a huge stutter right now. As you can see, sometimes this game stutters a lot. Alright, so I've started counting the FPS, and as you can see right now we're getting 35, 36, 37 FPS on ultra maxed out settings without any FSR2. This game doesn't have specific FSR2 settings like quality or balanced or performance or ultra performance. We've only got FSR2 and we can select that, and in the dynamic resolution we can select the percentage of resolution, internal resolution, that we can set in that. Alright, so we're going to be testing this afterwards, but first let's just check out on the native resolution outside how does the game perform. Now the GPU usage is being reported at about 98%, but the power usage is not maximum, which tells me that GPU is not being utilized perfectly or fully in this game. Now if this was if my CPU was not perfectly fine, which I think it is for this game, I would say it would be a CPU bottleneck. But right now I can see the CPU is also not being used that much. It's not more than like 30 to 40% of CPU usage. So it's not the CPU that's bottlenecking the GPU right now. It's only that the game needs a little bit more optimization, and I'm sure they will do that. This is a huge game, and we also know that in huge games where there's a lot of data that needs to be processed, the game is very heavier on the CPU side. So this is to be seen in the other benchmarks and other GPUs and CPUs. How does it perform? Now we're inside an area, and as you can see right now we're getting more FPS like 53, 55. Alright, let's just keep moving forward. The game looks gorgeous. It looks amazing. It has amazing dynamic lighting. As you can see right now, dynamic lighting is amazing. I think we're entering some hostile area. Yeah. Some stuttering in the game. I think it's just loading the data. Alright. So our robot also kills people. That's good. He's gonna be a help. Let's go move forward. 52 FPS average, 53. That is good performance coming from a 2023 title, I think. Even though the GPU is not being maxed out in the usage side, but it's still performing very good. Alright, so as you can see we're getting 54 FPS average, but the 0.1% and 1% lows are very bad. So this is due to huge stutters that I was just talking about with you, and I think they need to fix that. Oh, this guy has some more health than the other ones. So I think he's the captain of the ship or something. He's got 3 health bars. So outside, as you can see, we're getting like 35 to 40 FPS but inside indoors we were getting 50 FPS above. Alright, so I think that is it for ultra settings, native. Now let me just go ahead in the settings and enable FSR2. And as you can see, FSR2 doesn't have any kind of other options like quality, balanced, and everything. We have got a render resolution scale here which we can adjust. So what I'm going to do is I am going to get it to about 85%. Alright, with FSR2 enabled. Now we could call it quality or something and start counting the FPS again. And as you can see right now, we got a little bit of improvement, like close to 2 or 3 FPS. We were getting 35 and we got now 38, 39, and the huge stutters are still present. It's still stuttering a lot, and our lows and 1% lows have gone to 0 now. And there is a huge bug that's trying to kill me, and I just killed it. Alright, so not much of an improvement with 85% resolution scaling and FSR2 enabled. Let's just try to lower it down a little bit more. Let's take it to 75. Alright, now this is a little bit more improvement, like 5 FPS more. 40, 42, 43. As you can see right now, let's just start counting the FPS again. Yeah, 45. So we went from 35 FPS to 45 by changing it to 75% resolution scaling. So I would suggest in this case that if you want to stay above 40 FPS most of the time on ultra settings, if you want to play this game, then just turn your resolution scaling to 75% and enable FSR2. It looks good. It still looks like native resolution to me. It doesn't look that bad. It looks good, and motion blur in this game is also bearable. It's good. They've got a good implementation of motion blur also, so I would recommend you guys to use that. But YouTube compression is actually going to destroy my gameplay video, so that is why I'm not enabling it right now. Alright guys, so I think that is it for ultra setting. Now let's just disable FSR2. Make it 100%. Disable FSR2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to enable high settings preset, which actually enables 62% render resolution scale and FSR2. So I'm going to disable that. Alright guys, so I've just gone ahead and restarted the game, and as you can see right now, this game is having some weird behavior. I'm on high settings now. Previously we were on ultra settings and we were getting like 35 FPS. Now on high settings we are getting lower FPS. As you can see, 31, 29. Let's just start counting the FPS again. 27. Yeah, that is weird behavior somehow. Or maybe there is something else wrong with some of the settings. I don't know. Well, the FPS is still like 29, as you can see, 29, 30, 33 FPS average. By changing the graphics settings to high, the game has not improved that much. I would say it's decreased in performance. I cannot aim in this frame rate. And these guys are so tiny. Okay, so I think you get an idea. Now let's go ahead in the settings menu and change it to FSR2 again. And let's go back to 75% resolution scaling. Alright. So this time also as you can see, we're getting like 37 now, so 5 FPS increase. So I don't know what is going on, but on high settings is giving lesser FPS than on ultra settings. Sometimes it goes up and sometimes it just drops in frame rate. Let's go ahead and now go to settings and disable FSR2, and let me just go to medium now. Alright, so we're on medium settings, and as soon as I enable medium settings, now you can see that we're getting good FPS. So let's start counting the FPS again. But the textures are looking very bad now. As you can see, the ground textures and everything, they're looking bad. 58 FPS average on medium settings. Yeah, but the textures are not good. This was a weird behavior on high settings. Like on ultra we were getting like between 35 to 40 FPS, and when we enabled FSR2 we were getting close to 45 I think. And then afterwards, when I enabled high settings, the game decreased in performance. So there is something weird with some of the graphic settings, I think. Alright, I think you get the idea now. 59 FPS average in the same graphics, in the same medium graphics, but in the same area. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go here in the settings, and on medium settings I'm going to FSR2 was already enabled. I didn't see that. Now let's just disable FSR2 and let's go back and test the settings. Alright, so on medium settings now, without FSR2 we're getting 37, 38. Alright, so that was the main reason why we were getting those high FPS and also smudgy graphics, I think. Alright, let's just change to low settings preset now. Low settings preset, and it automatically enables FSR2. I'm going to just increase some sharpening here, and render resolution scale is at 50%. Disable film grain intensity also, yes. Okay, so on low settings preset we're getting like 70 FPS. Let's start counting the FPS again, and as you can see right now, 70, 72. Yes. Alright, I think you get an idea, guys. Now let's just disable on low settings. Let's go ahead and disable FSR2. And on low settings without FSR2 we're getting like 46, 44 FPS. But the game looks sharper than before. Let's go into this into our ship again, because we're losing oxygen. Board the ship. Alright guys, I think you get an idea of the performance. Now in this case, what I would recommend you guys is to actually, in this case, this game is a lot more CPU bound, because there is a lot of information on the screen or data on the screen that the CPU needs to be handling. That is why it's a lot more CPU bound than GPU bound. Alright guys, so we have landed on another planet now, and this planet has a lot of people, as you can see around here. There's a huge city right here, a huge city area that I've just entered. So I just wanted to check out the performance in this area, that how does the game performs. Alright, so let's just go back to the settings, and we're on low preset still. Everything on low preset with FSR2 disabled. Alright, there is some stuttering happening right now. Maybe it's the game is loading some data. 50, 47 FPS. Yeah, now the CPU usage, as you can see, is going up. It's going to about 71%, 72%. So this is getting totally now CPU bound in the city area, but the game is still performing the same, I think. So let's just go back and now change it to medium preset with FSR2 disabled. In the same area, now medium preset, we're getting 42, 43, the same frame rate as the low settings. Medium to low kind of looks bad, but on medium settings the game looks good, I think. Foliage and everything, textures look good. Now let's go to the settings again, and let's just enable high settings now, FSR2 disabled. And yeah, so as you can see on high settings now, we're getting close to 37, 35. So from medium to high, it made a difference in performance a lot. Now this is the territory where you want to use FSR2, and you want to be lower, like close to 70% resolution scaling when you're using FSR2. Alright, looks at the city. Now let's go back. Alright, so I just opened up settings. It took a while, but it's alright, we're in. Now let's enable ultra settings and disable FSR2. Alright, so as you can see, we are just as the game is very CPU bound in the city area, it's more CPU bound than the other areas, so that is why we're getting lesser increments in performance when we are changing the settings increments, or we're getting lesser increases or decreases in performance when we're changing the graphic settings. Alright, now on ultra settings, let's just go ahead and enable FSR2 again, and as I told you, just keep it as 70%. Alright, so 35, 38. So in this case, in this game now, I would recommend you guys, if you're using this GPU and this CPU setup, you guys should be using, if you want to have good FPS, you should use the medium preset or high preset, and the game will perform good for you. Alright, so I think that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give a like if you did, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.